Hello, dear friends of Life Single. Today we bring you another chapter in the journey of Day and Huyen. A chapter filled with tears, strength, and the courage to face the ghosts of the past. What happens when the people who once cast you out return, asking for what they believe is rightfully theirs? Does blood always grant rights? Or does love earned through sacrifice matter more? Stay with us until the end to witness Huyen's most difficult confrontation yet, and the decision that will shape her daughter's future. The afternoon sun cast long shadows across the small yard as Huyen hung laundry on the line. Maya played nearby, her laughter ringing out as she chased butterflies through the wildflowers that grew along the fence. It was an ordinary day, peaceful and full of simple joys. The kind of day Huyen had once only dreamed of during those dark months when she and Maya had nothing. Day was inside preparing an early dinner, the smell of cooking rice and vegetables drifting through the open windows. This was their life now, modest but warm, difficult at times but filled with love. Huyen smiled as she watched Maya, her heart swelling with gratitude for how far they had come. Then she heard footsteps on the path leading to their home. Huyen looked up, and her hands froze mid-motion. The wet shirt she'd been hanging slipped from her fingers back into the basket. Her breath caught in her throat, walking toward their house, moving slowly as if the weight of the world rested on his shoulders, was Thuc's father. Huyen's former father-in-law, the man whose wife had thrown her and Maya out into the cold world, with nothing but the clothes on their backs. For a moment, Huyen couldn't move. 3 years of healing, 3 years of building a new life, 3 years of learning to feel safe again. All of it seemed to tremble on unstable ground. Her first instinct was to grab Maya and run inside, to hide, to protect what they had built, but she didn't run. She had run enough in her life. Those days were over. "Mama, who's that?" Maya asked, noticing her mother's sudden stillness. Before Huyen could answer, Maya's face lit up with recognition. "Grandpa!" she called out, her child's memory somehow holding on to the image of this man she hadn't seen in years. The old man's face crumpled with emotion at hearing that word. He stopped walking, as if the sound of his granddaughter's voice had physically struck him. "Maya," he whispered. "My little Maya." Maya ran toward him without hesitation, the way children do when they haven't yet learned to guard their hearts. Thuc's father dropped to his knees and embraced her, tears streaming down his weathered face as he held his granddaughter for the first time in 3 years. Huyen watched this reunion with a storm of emotions churning inside her. She wanted to pull Maya away, to shield her from these people who had caused them so much pain. But she also saw an old man weeping over a child he loved, a grandfather who had been deceived just as much as he had been complicit in their suffering. Day appeared in the doorway, drawn by the commotion. He immediately moved to Huyen's side, his presence solid and reassuring. His hand found hers, and she gripped it tightly, drawing strength from him. "You've grown so tall," Thuc's father was saying to Maya, his hands gently touching her face, as if to confirm she was real. "And so healthy, so beautiful. We have enough food now," Maya said with the innocent honesty of a 6-year-old. "Uncle Day makes sure we always have rice and vegetables, sometimes even meat." The words, meant innocently, landed like stones. Thuc's father looked up at Huyen, and in his eyes she saw the full weight of his shame and regret. "Huyen," he said, slowly standing. "Thank you for not sending me away immediately. I know I have no right to be here." Huyen said nothing. She simply stood there, one hand holding Day's, the other unconsciously moving to rest on Maya's shoulder as her daughter returned to her side. "I came to talk with you," Thuc's father continued. "Please, just a few minutes of your time." Day spoke up, his voice calm but firm. "Huyen doesn't have to talk to you if she doesn't want to." "I know," the old man said quickly. "I know, but I'm asking. Please." Huyen looked at Day. then at Maya. She took a deep breath. "Maya, sweetie, go inside with Uncle Dae. He'll give you a snack." "But Mama—" "Go on, little one," Dae said gently, taking Maya's hand. "Your mama will be right here. We can see her through the window." As Dae led Maya inside, he squeezed Huyen's hand one more time. A silent message. "I'm here if you need me." Huyen gestured to the simple wooden bench under the eaves of their house. She sat down, and after a moment's hesitation, Thuk's father sat beside her, keeping a respectful distance. For a long moment, neither spoke. Birds sang in the trees. The wind rustled through the leaves. Inside, Maya's laughter could be heard as Dae distracted her with stories and snacks. "I went to see Thuk," the old man finally said. "At the prison." Huyen's jaw tightened, but she remained silent. "He's changed," Thuk's father continued. "Truly changed. He's not the same reckless boy who destroyed his life and hurt everyone around him. He's taking his rehabilitation seriously. He reads, he studies, he participates in every program they offer. He's trying to become a better man. That's good for him," Huyen said quietly, her voice carefully neutral. "He asked about Maya constantly. He cries when he talks about her. The regret in his eyes, Huyen, it's genuine. He knows he failed as a husband and as a father. He knows what his actions cost you and Maya." Huyen's hands clenched in her lap. "Why are you telling me this?" Thuk's father took a shaky breath. "Because he asked me to do something. Something I need to talk to you about, even though I know I have no right to ask anything of you." A cold feeling settled in Huyen's stomach. She turned to look at him directly for the first time. "What?" "He wants Maya to know her family. Her real family. He wants her to understand where she comes from, who her father is, even if he can't be there for her." The old man paused, gathering courage. "Huyen, I would like to take Maya home with me. Not forever, but to live with me for a while. To let her know her grandfather, to give her the stability and care of her blood family." The words hung in the air like poison. Huyen felt as if she'd been slapped. For several heartbeats, she couldn't breathe. "I know what you must think," Thuk's father rushed on. "But please, try to understand. I love Maya. She's my granddaughter, my blood. I can give her things. Education, opportunities, a proper home with a real family connection. She deserves to know where she comes from. She deserves to have her grandfather in her life. A proper home," Huyen repeated, her voice shaking. "A real family connection. I didn't mean it like that. I just meant—" "What did you mean?" Huyen's voice was rising now, 3 years of suppressed pain and anger beginning to surface. "Tell me! What did you mean by a proper home? This house isn't proper enough? This family isn't real enough? Huyen, please, where was this concern for Maya 3 years ago?" The dam had broken. Tears streamed down Huyen's face, but her voice was strong, fueled by a mother's fury. "Where was this love when your wife threw us out like garbage? When she told me I was a burden, that my child and I weren't worth feeding? Where were you when Maya was 3 years old and crying from hunger?" Thuk's father's head dropped. "I didn't know. I was away working. I didn't know what my wife had done until recently. But you believed her lies," Huyen said. "When you came home and we were gone, you believed her when she said we had abandoned you. You never looked for us. You never questioned whether a young mother with no family and no money would really just disappear with her child. You were so ready to think the worst of me." "You're right," he whispered. "You're absolutely right. I failed you. I failed Maya. I failed my son by not being there to guide him properly. I failed everyone. And now you want to make up for it by taking my daughter?" Huyen's voice was incredulous. "You think you can just erase 3 years of struggle and suffering by offering Maya a room in your house? I want to help," he said desperately. "I want to give her what she should have had all along. She has what she needs." Huyen said firmly. She has a mother who would die for her. She has De, who treats her with more love and kindness than her own father ever did. She has a home where she is safe, where she is cherished, where she never has to wonder if she's wanted. What more does she need? De stepped out onto the porch then, unable to stay inside any longer. He came and stood behind Huyen, his hands resting gently on her shoulders, in a gesture of solidarity and support. Maya is thriving, De said quietly but firmly. She's happy. She's healthy. She goes to school every day with a full stomach and clean clothes. She has friends. She has stability. She has love. Why would we disrupt that? Thuk's father looked between them, seeing the united front they presented, the obvious love and care they shared. I'm not trying to take her away permanently. I just thought... You thought you could fix your mistakes by inserting yourself into our lives, Huyen finished. You thought that because you're her grandfather by blood, you have rights that supersede everything we've built. Don't I? He asked, and there was real anguish in his voice. Doesn't blood mean something? Doesn't family matter? Family is what you make it, De said. It's not about DNA. It's about who shows up, who stays, who loves unconditionally. Huyen wiped her eyes, steadying herself. When she spoke again, her voice was calmer, but no less resolute. You and your wife drove us away. You didn't want the burden of an extra mouth to feed, a daughter-in-law with a criminal husband and a small child. You chose to send us away. You don't get to change your mind now because it's convenient, because your son feels guilty, because you've suddenly remembered you have a granddaughter. But Maya is my daughter, Huyen said, her voice ringing with absolute conviction. I am the one who held her when she cried from hunger. I am the one who slept in the rain to keep her dry. I am the one who begged for work, for food, for any scrap of kindness to keep her alive. Not you, not your wife, not Thuk, me. And when I couldn't do it alone anymore, when I had nothing left to give, De was there. De saved us. De gave us a home and dignity and love. He is more of a father to Maya than Thuk ever was. Dee's hands tightened slightly on Huyen's shoulders, moved by her words. Thuk's father sat in silence, tears running down his lined face. Finally, he nodded slowly. You're right. Everything you've said is right. I have no defense. What we did to you and Maya was unforgivable. Yes, Huyen agreed. It was. I understand that you won't let me take Maya. I understand why, and I accept it. He wiped his face with the back of his hand. But Huyen, please. I'm begging you, not as someone who has any right to ask, but as an old man who loves his granddaughter and wants to make amends in whatever small way is possible. What are you asking? Let me see her sometimes. Let me be part of her life, even if only in small ways. Let me bring her gifts on her birthday, visit her occasionally. Let her know that she has a grandfather who loves her, even if he failed her terribly. He paused, gathering courage. And Huyen, please consider letting me take Maya to visit Thuk. Just once. Let her see her father. Let him see how beautiful and healthy she's become. He's in prison. He can't hurt anyone. But seeing her might give him something to hold on to. Something to work toward when he's released. Huyen was quiet for a long time. She felt Dee's presence behind her, steady and supportive, but leaving the decision to her. She looked through the window at Maya, who was drawing pictures at the kitchen table, safe and happy and utterly unaware of the conversation happening outside. What was best for Maya? That was the only question that mattered. I need to think about it, Huyen finally said. About the visits, about you being in her life. I need time to consider what's right for Maya. Of course, Thuk's father said quickly. Take all the time you need. I'm not trying to rush you or pressure you, but Huyen continued, and something in her voice made both men look at her intently. About Thuk. About taking Maya to see him. Yes? The old man's voice was full of hope. Huyen took a deep breath. I will allow it. One visit, under conditions. Thuk's father's eyes widened. Truly, you would allow that? Not for Thuk, Huyen said firmly. Not for you, not even for myself, but for Maya. Because someday she will be old enough to ask questions about her father. She will want to know who he is, where she came from, why her life is the way it is. And when that day comes, I want to be able to tell her truthfully that I gave her the chance to know him, that I didn't keep her from him out of spite or anger. Thank you, Thuk's father breathed. Thank you, Huyen. You are more generous than we deserve. There are conditions, Huyen repeated. Maya doesn't go alone. I go with her. And Day comes too, if he's willing. I'm willing, Dee said immediately. Maya will be told the truth, but in a way appropriate for a 6-year-old child, Huyen continued. She will understand that her father made mistakes and is learning to be better. She will not be told details that would frighten or traumatize her. And if at any point during the visit Maya becomes upset or uncomfortable, we leave immediately. Her well-being comes first. Yes, absolutely, whatever you think is best. And understand this clearly, Huyen said, her voice like steel wrapped in silk. This visit doesn't change anything about Maya's life. She lives here with me and Day. This is her home. These are the people who take care of her every day. One visit to a prison doesn't make Thuk her father in any meaningful sense. Day is the one who earned that role. I understand, Thuk's father said, completely. When Thuk gets out of prison someday, if he's truly changed and wants to be part of Maya's life, we can discuss it then. But it will be on my terms, with my rules, and only if it's good for Maya. His rights as a biological father ended when he chose crime over his family. He'll have to earn any place in her life. That's fair, more than fair. Huyen stood up, signaling that the conversation was ending. You can write to me about arranging the prison visit. We'll coordinate a time that works, but don't come here again without being invited. This is our home, our sanctuary. We get to decide who enters it. Thuk's father stood as well, bowing his head respectfully. Thank you, Huyen, for hearing me out, for being willing to let Maya see her father, for being a better person than any of us have been to you. Dee stepped forward. I'll walk you to the road, he said. It wasn't really an offer. As the two men walked away, Huyen sank back onto the bench, suddenly exhausted. Through the window, she could see Maya still drawing, oblivious to the weight of the decision that had just been made. When Day returned a few minutes later, he sat beside Huyen and pulled her into his arms. She leaned against him, letting herself be held, letting herself be vulnerable. Are you okay? He asked softly. I don't know, she admitted. Part of me wants to take back what I said. Part of me wants to pack up Maya and run away where they can never find us. Part of me wants to scream at him until my voice gives out. But you didn't do any of those things. You were strong and dignified and fair. Was I right to agree? To let Maya see Thuk? Dee was quiet for a moment, thinking. I think, he finally said, that you made the decision a good mother makes. Not the easy decision, but the right one. Maya will have questions someday. You're giving her the tools to find her own answers. What if seeing Thuk confuses her? What if she wants to go live with him when he gets out? Then we'll deal with that when it happens, Day said calmly. But Huyen, Maya knows who loves her. She knows who takes care of her. She knows where home is. One visit to a prison isn't going to change that. You're the one she runs to when she's scared, Huyen said, her voice breaking. You're the one she wants to show her drawings to. You're the one who makes her feel safe. You're her real father, and nothing will change that, Dee assured her. No matter what happens, no matter who comes from the past, I will always be here. I chose you both, and I will keep choosing you both, every single day. They sat together in silence as the afternoon light began to fade. Inside, Maya started singing one of the songs Day had taught her. Her young voice, sweet and carefree. "We should go inside," Huyen finally said, "before she wonders what we're doing out here." "In a minute," Day said. "Let me hold you for just another minute." And so they sat, two people who had found each other in the midst of hardship, who had built something beautiful from broken pieces. Tomorrow would bring new challenges. Someday soon they would have to explain to Maya about the prison visit, about her father, about the complicated truths of family and love and forgiveness. But tonight they had this moment of peace, and they had each other, and they had a little girl inside who knew she was loved. That was enough. It had to be enough. Sometimes the hardest thing about love is knowing when to hold tight and when to loosen your grip. Huyen stood at a crossroads today, facing the people who had caused her deepest pain. And she chose something unexpected. Not revenge, not refusal, but a measured grace that puts her daughter's future above her own hurt. The question that echoes in our hearts is whether this generosity will heal old wounds or reopen them. Can a man who abandoned his family truly change? Should the sins of the past be forgiven for the sake of a child's wholeness? Huyen doesn't have all these answers yet. What she does have is the strength she's built through suffering, the love Day has shown her, and the fierce determination to protect Maya's happiness above all else. That strength will carry her through whatever comes next. Thank you for joining us on this emotional journey with Life Single. If Huyen's courage touched your heart, please like and share this story. Follow us to see what happens when Maya meets her father for the first time, and to continue following Day and Huyen as they navigate the complicated terrain of family, forgiveness, and love. Until next time, dear friends.